to make my video for the day. I'm exhausted, and I go in, and it's like between 11 and 1 in the morning, and I go to edit, and all the footage is corrupt.
Oh, God.
I have nothing, and I have to have something turned in by 6 a.m. And my boyfriend at the time, he comes into the room, he goes, Ad, why don't you just go get them chickens in the backyard and do something with them? They make you happy. It's a horrible idea, probably, but I have no better ideas. So get all my chickens, and I just improv this bit in the bathroom, and it did 19 million views overnight in 24 hours and gained me 100,000 followers.
Wow.
But the more surface level, dumb, or shocking the content is, the better it does. So all of this was built from the internet's dumbest videos of all time.
Wow. Adley Kinsman is one of the most viewed female producers and content suppliers in Facebook history, continuously averaging over 1 billion monthly views. She is the CEO and founder of Storyhouse and Viralish, a creator collective helping brands and creators integrate themselves into viral communities at scale. Also, you may recognize her from The Voice, an experience that changed her life overnight. Welcome, Adley.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much for being, we are so excited to have you on. My husband is actually the person who told me about you. So yeah, he sent me your video and he's like, you got to check her out. And he's like, she's like Tony Robbins or something. And I went and spent forever just researching you. And you really are do you do motivational speaking as well?
No, that means so much. I do have the low voice. Like Tony, maybe that's what he meant.
The voice is very soothing.
No,
for sure.
Speaking is fairly new for us, but it's so interesting. Like the last 6 months, but it's so interesting how the dots only connect in hindsight, right? But I can look now at all the times I've been a performer or on stage in a different capacity through music, through speaking to rooms where nobody's engaging back, and we're making videos into a phone that the audience is there, and you just have to know millions of people are going to see this. So you've got to bring the energy regardless. That then prepare you for moments like the stages we're taking now. So even though speaking is new to me, in a different sense, I've been doing it for a very long time.
Yeah, you're definitely good at it. I think you got that magic.
Yeah.
So, and you also have the ripped arms, which you're not showing off. I was going to also bring that up. And you're not wearing your signature hat. So a lot is happening.
I'm wearing the whole wrong outfit. It's such a rainy day here in Nashville that I'm in my cozy today. You know?
Yeah, we understand. We're in LA. We understand rain. It rained here once too.
Perfect weather all the time.
It's actually going to rain on Saturday. So thoughts and prayers.
Oh, no, that's not good. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Exactly.
I will send.
Thank you.
So I mentioned that you were on The Voice, and I would love to just understand kind of I've been also looking at you on LinkedIn, and you have these milestones that you've hit, and your life is like a roller coaster. And you share it also openly. So if you don't mind, taking us back, take it back.
Sure. I should have known you would bring up the reality show.
How
did I
think
that was going to skate by?
Oh, yeah. No, I saw that one yesterday, and I can't wait to ask you, because you had a whole deal with Buna Murray. And so we're going to definitely dive into that and, see what happened there, because that was crazy. So tell me about back in 2013. Is that when everything started with The Voice?
Yeah. So I was in college, right out of college, when I auditioned for this karaoke show. It wasn't the known show it is now. We called it a karaoke show.
So crazy.
And so it was a dare, because I was singing in Stillwater, Oklahoma, if I had enough Miller Lights in me on a Wednesday and karaoke was open. That was kind of the extent of it. I did play guitar, but it was just dabbling more than anything. But I don't turn down a dare.
Right.
Very often. So, and I loved Nashville, and I loved music. It was how I connected and with everybody. It still is. So drove through the night, chugging energy drinks, auditioned, and you guys know this. It's casting in a sense. Yeah. And when I realized, I think I'm the only one here who doesn't care so very much, I haven't wanted to do this since I was 2. Yeah. And I realized that I'm the cheerleading sorority girl who didn't know she could sing and could sing, and everyone there can sing. I could sing enough, but I was not great. So anytime somebody goes and looks back at that audition, I'm mortified because it's like asking an artist or a painter, let me see the first thing you ever painted. It's probably not very good, but that's my The Voice audition. That was my audition on The Voice. So it did get Christina and Blake to turn, and I was on Team Blake. And then I moved to Nashville and had this amazing opportunity that I did not feel worthy of. You know, I had friends who would give their left leg for that opportunity, who had wanted to sing since they were 2 and wanted to be on these, be really famous and all this stuff. And I'm on the abs mat and I'm just praying and I'm like, Lord, I think you've got the wrong girl. Like I'm in Nashville. I had signed a record deal in the meantime. I'm going to be on the #1 show in America, which it was that season. And I wanted to go work for this nonprofit. I wanted to go speak and encourage and inspire people struggling with depression, addiction, self-injury, and suicide, because I was losing my dad to addiction. And I was praying, I was telling God this. And I don't know if you've ever had a deeply spiritual moment, but you know when he is speaking to you. Like, you know, it's just the deepest way that you can know anything. And he said, Ad, I just gave you a stage and a microphone and a voice you didn't know you had. What do you think you're supposed to go do with it? Go speak, go encourage, go inspire people.
Right.
I'm just giving you a way bigger platform than you were giving yourself in a cubicle working for a nonprofit. So I said, okay, Lord, I will earn everything else. Thank you for this leg up. So even in the earliest days of entertainment with The Voice, it was still about a much bigger mission and message for me than just music, which is why the music itself wasn't so precious to me. The mission was much bigger.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a very practical God. He's like, look, I just got you on The Voice. Don't fuck this.
Yeah, exactly.
I've like heard.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, you said that it all started from a dare, right? And so are you just like, what the heck is happening right now? Like where they're actually, you know, because I'm assuming it's like a whirlwind. And where were you living when you drove to Nashville?
And who dared you?
Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Oh, you were in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And who dared you? That's a good question.
My sorority sisters.
Oh,
okay.
There you go.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So were they shocked or did they think?
I was interested in it too. I'm not going to lie and say that I wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, what a fun opportunity.
But did they know you knew how to sing and this was or were they just like messing with you?
I think they knew.
Yeah.
Like we knew I kind of had a voice, but not a good enough one.
Yeah.
I didn't think.
So then what happened from there?
That was a big one. I mean, getting on that was huge. But then it's like you have to make something of it yourself. You can't think that, oh my gosh, if I'm having these 5 seconds of fame and that this is going to amount to anything truly. I mean, look at all the hundreds and hundreds of people who have been on any of these shows, The Voice, Idol. It's up to you what you make of it afterwards, unless you're on the 0.5% or you didn't sign your life away. So you really have to align your own expectations. And for mine, they were kind of aligned for me because that record deal that I had signed away. This wasn't The Voice deal. This was a different one. And we were using The Voice to like capitalize on it. But it was an independent guy who just had a lot of money, good Christian guy. I thought I was going to be I had this awesome position to move to Nashville. And his family was really helping me out. And so we went on The Voice, like, let's make the most of this. But the deal that I had signed with him, I signed away commercial rights to my name for life.
But what does that mean exactly? Like, that you can't use your own name or?
It feels like a deal with the devil, but I don't think he knew any better at the time either. He just hired the worst lawyer you could possibly imagine.
For life though, just saying that again.
For life. So just like the name Adley, I didn't own. So in anything in entertainment, I couldn't do that. I didn't own any of my music. I didn't own anything. And I couldn't go to meetings without this guy. Like people were liking me and they were not liking this guy. It felt like it's not a good situation and it felt weird, but he was very protective of this asset as I was to them. But it was just not a good situation. So ultimately I can't put gas on my car. I can't go get another job. I'm just really beholden to this family. And so I met with a lawyer. I'm like, what are my options here? And he goes, you can either fight this for the next 18 months and lose all the leverage you have and momentum from the show, or you file bankruptcy at 23 to get the rights to your name back and have a shot in entertainment without him. But during this time, I couldn't, like, it was at such a high and I was supposed to be on like the highest of my life, but it was the lowest. And here all my friends are signing real record deals and going on tour and all this. And I'm fighting for my life. Not really, but like felt like it to put gas in my car. I'm losing my dad to alcoholism. I'm in a horrible relationship at the time and I can't use the only piece of leverage I had, which was my name from the show. So I make an Upwork account under the name Megan something. I graduated from the University of Phoenix. I consult for app development companies
Oh,
I just had a
wow.
million different resumes for any job that I could get.
Yeah.
I was just making fake resumes and names to get jobs because I couldn't use my name.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
But did you have to explain that when you went? You're like, oh, by the way, this isn't my name, and this is.
When I had to explain it, I
yeah.
worked as Megan for a while, like at least a month, until it came time for me to get paid. And they're trying to ask to make the check out to, and they were going to write me a check. And I was like, oh, damn.
Oh yeah. I only take
I did not
cash.
think this all
That is
through.
crazy.
So then I had to come clean and say I was on this show, and then they were like, "We watched you on the show," and it ended up being fun, and they were cool about it. I just told them the
Okay.
story, and then they were even more thrilled because then they knew who I actually was.
Oh
But
yeah.
it was a funny season.
Yeah.
But that's when the grind happened. So it was the worst time. It was the most trying, difficult time. But it gets the green out of you real quick. It teaches you how to get scrappy and really resourceful. When you got to make money, you just realize the quickest way to do that is solving other people's problems
Right.
and figuring out how to do that. And if you can solve theirs, you solve your own.
So how did you jump from becoming a musician to, helping people go viral or make videos?
And making
probably-
1 billion views
that's
a
probably an
month.
8-year run because I was in the music industry for 8 years. Still, now I had my name back, and I have an office on Music Row here in Nashville, and I'm an independent artist,
Okay.
and I'm touring with Blake, and I got to open on stadium shows for some of the biggest names in country music. Had a promoter who just really loved and believed in me, but you're frustrated the whole time because you're waiting in traditional entertainment for a suit behind a desk to give you a shot, to give you permission to entertain. And you could wait 2 years for a meeting to pitch your show or to pitch your whatever.
Yeah.
And the decision maker had Cheerios instead of oatmeal that day. And they're like, I don't like this song. But if they'd heard it in like a different environment or mood, they're like, what a jam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
And
That's luck.
I knew I had made that promise to God. I knew I was meant for more. And I could not stomach being told if I could ever be successful or if I could entertain people and when, where, how. And so that's when I started making videos, was when I was on the road, and really loved it. It scratched that entertainment itch, but it was bigger than just music and talking about myself and promoting my music,
Do you remember that very first video that you made?
I don't remember the very first one I made because there's so many that nobody watched. Like nobody watched my videos. I remember the one that changed my life and made me go all in on video and really started taking it seriously. It's probably the 800th video I made. But it was the first one that really made a difference.
So
I guess.
I want to highlight that because for the people who are listening, who I'm really interested in so many aspects of your life, but I mean, clearly, 1 billion monthly views is insane, and you do it for a living where you teach other people. But you said, and just being very clear, that you had made 800 videos prior to the one that actually, launched you. And I think that that's the thing. It's a bit of a different time than it was 8 years ago versus now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like so many more people are trying to go viral and make a living and be independent and not having somebody else pave their path like a network executive, which is funny because that's what I'm doing my own thing now, but that's my world.
Yeah,
but the devil,
You're the villain in
the
the story,
villain in the
Gabriella.
story, yeah. But what in the world kept you to keep doing it? After video, after video, after video, and not getting very many views, to just keep pushing yourself? Did you ever want to give up?
Oh, yeah. But I really loved it. I loved storytelling, much like you guys. I loved the craft. It was songwriting, but you got quicker feedback. I could make a video, put it out, and be like, they hated it. Cool.
Yeah.
But I liked it. And what can I lean into? And I knew that there was something here because I was a consumer. And I'm like, all the eyeballs are here. And I just got to find it. But I really liked it. And I think liking what you're doing makes the journey palatable, and you're willing to stay in it longer because you're not doing it just for the outcome.
Yeah.
If you were only in podcasting just to get 1 million listeners, you'd probably quit because that's very daunting. You're only aiming for the carrot at the end. But if you hate it the whole way through, you're not going to stick through it. So I think the love of storytelling.
She's getting the carrot.
She's aiming for the carrot. She's like, I'm going to be real.
Give me the carrot.
Yeah.
It needs to be chocolate covered. It's not even just the carrot. It
There
needs
you go.
to be
there you go.
Yeah.
So no, I hear you though.
But yeah, you're right. You have to love it and be passionate about it. 800 videos is not an easy thing to accomplish.
Yeah.
And also,
No,
like
and
within those 800 videos, I'm sure it was like the comments people probably made. I mean, there's so much like heartache and heartbreak into. You're not just making the videos and you're done. It's like you have to go through it. You have to listen to what people have to say. And I'm sure there's some good things and there's bad things and
Mostly bad things.
Mostly bad things. I mean, you have to be the kind of person that's willing to take that and do something with it. I don't know. And I'm not.
You do. And that was probably the toughest thing to learn is you have to get thick skin real quick. Like as a generally, like I was a generally well-liked person.
Yeah.
No, I didn't grow up like people being like, ew, Adley, she sucks. And so when you're used to like being people's friends and people liking you, reading the comments, like they are 90% horrible. And that never goes away. Just last week, Blake, my husband, probably deleted 300 comments on one of my Instagram videos of people calling me a man.
Oh God.
And because I have a low voice, I am strong.
Yeah.
And they were so mean about it.
Yeah.
Like so mean. And so he's going through deleting them.
Does he tell you?
We don't usually delete them, but that one, it was so aggressive.
Yeah.
And
also
hurtful.
pointless. I mean, why
Also
even
pointless. It
like
made the video
what
get
is this?
33 million views.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
Look, I get people commenting on the video, the context, whatever, but it's such a weird thing to come and say that. But I'm
What's
sure
the
this is very
point?
common. Yeah.
and full of
People-
such hate.
but people are
And,
just
like, I didn't want that to
mean.
perpetuate.
Yeah.
So that's why he's deleting them. So even though,
Yeah, good.
the video did well, and yes, that gets us paid, you're crying all the way to the bank.
God.
But
I'm
but
fine
are
with
you
that.
are you really though? Like I'm
With her
curious.
cash.
Yeah, no, but honestly, like when you're laying down, at night and not looking at your phone and are you playing, are you thinking about the things that people are saying? Like, does it actually affect you, or is it more like, let's delete these comments, like think business, think strategy, think what our brand is, or does it like hit you at your heart?
Two things. 8 years ago, it kept me up at night. And now through all the years and all the crazy crap we've made, that doesn't sting me anymore. And I heard somebody say it really beautifully the other day. They were like, if they were looking at you and saying, you're a purple cow, you're an energy drink can, you'd be like, no, I'm not. Like it would just roll right off your back if they're saying something so blatantly untrue that it can't even bother you because you're like, you are crazy. So in that sense, it doesn't hurt.
Good.
but
That makes
it's- Yeah. So in that sense, it doesn't hurt. But in the beginning, it would have for sure. And now I'm still sensitive to it. But if I'm sensitive to the ones that are a little bit true, I feel like the comments that
Those are
sting the
the-
worst
yeah.
are the ones that are a little bit
That's
true. And those will keep me up at night. Those are like
Yeah.
if I'm wrestling with something
Yes.
and
Oh
then
my God, you're
somebody
so
sees
right.
it and like calls it out, then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's so obvious.
Yeah.
Something like that, or the team things and figuring out how to build the company that we're building. And this imposter syndrome is the stuff that keeps me up at night, not the random people I'll never meet on the internet that end up paying the bills.
There you
They
go.
still
Well,
know
then
it.
that's good. Then your head is in the right place. So
You still
good.
have imposter syndrome?
Yeah,
Really?
for sure. Like
I
we're
mean,
designing
based
a
on
video
what,
for a big
though? I
celebrity
mean-
next weekend, and I'm thinking through it. I'm like, oh my gosh, do I really know how to do this? And I'm still nervous, but I don't think it ever goes away.
Okay.
Imposter syndrome. And if you have none of it, you're probably not swinging big enough.
Yeah.
If you're not scared, because I think imposter syndrome is just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I don't feel like I deserve this, or I just feel a little bit like I've never done this before, and it's scary. And you feel like, I've never done this before, this thing that I'm saying and believing I can do, which means you're dreaming big. It means you're doing the right thing. So I think if you're living right, the imposter syndrome never really goes away.
Also, I think that you're always trying to prove yourself. So you just keep working hard. You're never just comfortable and,
Yeah.
just.
And these big swings, I think, that's why we're here. That's why any of us are here. And to be very clear, 90% of the things that I try don't work out, And so that's why I love that we're talking about the hardships behind this, because I can talk about this all day, but this isn't the sexy stuff. The sexy stuff is actually like everything you had to overcome to even see a bit of success, you know? But in a weird way, I feel like we're still just getting started.
So when your clients come to you and they want to go viral, is it because they're trying to sell something, or is it like somebody's personal brand? There's probably like various things, right? Is there
I'd say
something?
most of it, those people want to go viral for their business, their product,
Okay.
their service, or their message.
What is it that you think like in general everybody's doing wrong?
Oh, that's
Like what is like the
Everybody.
one what is like the one thing that they're just not like they're like, oh, I kept trying, I made this, and it's not working. What is it?
And so this is a bit controversial, but I think people are calling out their avatar. Like everyone says, speak directly to your avatar. Like if you're a perimenopausal woman under 50 and you can't lose the weight, here's exactly what to do.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
here's three
that's
ways to
exactly
calling
that's
out the
exactly what
avatar
people say. Okay, so
right
what do you
away.
this is a good actual
Yeah.
example. And so
Yeah. And they're just playing too small, because how the algorithm works is like, I'm not saying never speak to your audience
Yeah.
also. Like that would be silly to say never speak to your
Yeah.
audience. Like I speak to people who want to make better content, better
Yeah.
videos. But you can, if you want to grow, you cannot do that all of the time.
Yeah.
You have to go wider, because if somebody calls out that avatar and that video is served to us or any of the guys running around this house, all of us are probably going, huh, we're all scrolling. So what does that tell
Right.
the algorithm? Not
Not
very
interesting.
valuable. So
Yeah.
it may find some people in that niche. That's great. Maybe you'll grow from 2,000 to 8,000 followers, but it is just as easy to swing bigger, and then you'll become contextually relevant by default. An example would be Jefferson Fisher. Do you guys know Jefferson Fisher?
No.
I bet you would recognize his face. He's got about 6 million followers on Instagram alone now. Just became has a #1 best-selling book, and he is a trial lawyer from Texas.
okay.
He does not have 6 million followers talking about his law firm.
Right.
He's not making videos about his law firm. He, as a trial lawyer, teaches people how to have better conversations. Here's what to say next time somebody gaslights you.
Oh, okay.
Here's what to say next time this.
Right.
If you're feeling discouraged and your partner isn't hearing you, try saying this. And he's macroing out on the widely relatable thing that is relatable to everybody, highly engagement worthy, very valuable, very shareable. And now his law firm is doing incredible. Okay.
Okay.
But you need to macro out and not just call out, if you're in need of trial law in Texas, in Austin, no. But you get 6 million followers, you're getting tens of millions of weekly views. You're going to find your people. And that is no extra effort, and actually easier to go for cultural relevance and then becoming contextually relevant by default.
Yeah. So I do think, though, just to break it down further, because they do say, like they as in anybody that you look up to how to go viral, right? That you got to find your niche, you got to hone in on it, and don't go too big. And so, like you're saying, that's controversial, right? But I do think that he's still finding his lane, which is, so you're right. He's not like hitting the attorneys, right? People who are interested in attorneys.
Or potential clients.
Or potential clients or whatnot, right? But he is picking like how to be a better public speaker or how to win arguments, or, you know what I mean? Like his lane is about, you know, that niche, right? Would you say?
Yes.
So,
and I'm not saying be nicheless. I'm
Yes.
saying it is an arms race with AI right now. There is no excuse to not go as wide as possible, because somebody in your exact same niche, other podcasters even, they're going to utilize AI and mass clipping, and they're going to go get hundreds of thousands of more views than people who aren't, simply because they're getting more attention. They're going to get the eyeballs because they're talking about bigger, more relatable subjects. And so I'm saying, pick your niche, kind of have a bigger one. And this is where content pillars and top of funnel and middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel all come into play. But I would say aim for wide relatability to hit as many people as you can and get as much attention as you can, because people can't buy from you or listen to you if they don't know you exist.
Yes.
So how can we go as wide as possible in the thing and then hit the middle of the funnel? Because you're going to have a way bigger pool to pull from than just going super niche. It's just harder to find. But then I think if you go wide and you do psychologically funnel people down into your thing, your pool is just going to be a lot bigger. And AI makes it so much easier to be everywhere, and clipping makes it so much easier to be everywhere that it's just not fighting an uphill battle as much to build your privatized community. Because I do think the future is not everyone being beholden to Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and the platforms, but really building their own private communities. I'm just saying it's easier to build that small niche down community if you get as much attention as possible.
Yeah,
Well,
makes
also
so
that
people can know
particular
about it.
guy, he used the skill sets that he has in his career to make it relatable. It wasn't
Yes.
like a random
Yes.
thing you probably came
He's
up
not
with.
talking about like
Yes.
you
underwater
take what you
basket
do
weaving
and say like
yeah.
which parts of it applies to everybody and not
Yeah.
just people who need a Texas lawyer, you know?
Totally. Exactly. Like if the underwater basket weaver person was
Yeah.
like, they did a challenge of, I can hold my breath for 4 minutes underwater. And they did a challenge series around holding the breath underwater, like things that are
Yeah.
relatable, interesting, challenge based, entertainment focused.
Right.
Then let them be weaving a basket underwater in the middle of that challenge. People are like, whoa, how the hell are you doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you started that video with, let me show you how to weave a basket underwater.
yeah.
No one cares.
No one cares. Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
do the more relatable wide thing. And then you will end up having all these people watching your video and watch you do your zone of genius
Yeah.
than you would prior.
And speaking of starting your video, how many seconds do you have to hook somebody? Like what's
I just
the
got done less than 3. It depends.
What?
It depends, but I would say
Less
I would
than 3
definitely less than 3.
seconds?
I just critiqued the crap out of an edit that just got sent back to me. I had 5 notes on the first 3 seconds.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I said, I don't really care. Like the first 3 seconds matter more than the next 30.
So I will say too, because you're now freshly, I think, on LinkedIn, kind of,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So, for example, the post that this is why she's so good. The post that she just did about the reality TV thing, which again we're going to get into, but that is such a good hook. Where is this? Oh, I lost 1.5 million letting the internet plan my wedding. True story. Boom. You're like, oh my God, tell me about that, you know? So it's like you have that down for sure. Before I forget, sorry, really quickly, what was the video that went viral that after 800 videos, I never asked you, what was it?
I put chickens in a bathtub.
But
I'll
I
send you
mean,
the clip.
That's right. No, I did see this. That's right. My God, there you go. But that was it.
But did you like why were you doing that? I have so many questions. Why did you have
Yes.
chickens? Why were
I was
they
doing
near a
it.
bathtub? Why did you put them in the bathtub? Why did you record it?
In a nutshell, I was
Yeah.
hired by a meme company, a very good friend of mine, still a partner today, and he knew what I was going through, and he thought I was funny, and he was like, he runs a huge comedy channel on Instagram, and he was like, I will pay you $2,000 a month to make me a 60-second vertical video for my stories on this channel every day. And I used to think if I could make $3,000 a month, I would never need any more money in my life.
Yeah.
I would be the richest human, and he was going to pay me 2.
Yeah.
You're so close.
And
Yeah,
I
we're
had
almost
never
there.
really made videos before, and especially comedy videos. So I started. He gave me a GoPro, and it was the kind of GoPro that had no screen on the back. So you're just
Oh
like
God, yeah.
guessing, right? And you're just like, then take the SD card and be like, did I get it? I missed. Okay. But I'm learning how to use that and learning how to light, how to write comedy, how to bribe my friends with margaritas to please be in my videos, and how to write things, then how to edit. And I was just going and looking at Vine at the time to see what everybody else was doing, because I'm trying to get the muscle and I'm trying to learn comedic timing and all this stuff. And I'm just in the beginning, just blatantly copying these bits and trying them on, and everything is flopping because they came across so inauthentic, because they were. And so it's flopping. And then one night I make all this video, make my video for the day. I'm exhausted. And I go in, and it's like between 11 and 1 in the morning. And I just plug in my SD card and I just go to edit, and all the footage is corrupt.
Oh
It's gone.
God.
I have nothing, and I have to have something turned in by 6 a.m. every day. So
no.
I'm just crying at this point. And my boyfriend at the time, we were very country, and he comes into the room. He goes, Ad, why don't you just go get them chickens in the backyard and do something with them? They make you happy. And I was like, it's a horrible idea, probably, but I have no better ideas. And so I go get the chickens. I get Ellen DeGeneres, Oprah Winfrey, Chip Norris.
It took me a second to
I know, I was like,
what? Who are these people that I don't know? Oh God.
All my chickens' names. Bruce Henner. Thought it was a hen, turned out to be a rooster.
Okay.
Oh God.
So we get Bruce Henner, get all my
That's
chickens, and
hilarious.
I just improv this bit in the bathroom, and I'm curling Bruce Henner's hair. And my boyfriend just comes in and he's like, what are you doing? Sees that I'm curling the chicken's hair. Then I end up opening, I'll send you the video. I end up opening the bathtub curtain, and all my chickens are in the bathroom. And this video, it was not great, but it was kind of funny. I turned it in and they were like, what is this? I explained everything. I'm like, I'm so sorry, my footage is corrupt. But then I kind of thought it was funny. So I posted it on my personal Facebook.
They didn't like
They
it.
didn't use it?
They didn't use. They
didn't
weren't
like it.
happy.
Oh.
See, okay. By the way, I love this story.
I know you do. I know.
This is
I know.
how
You need to
you know
calm
everything
down.
happens for a reason. The footage was corrupt.
Every episode we have to have this conversation.
She hates this about me, by the way, Adley, because I'm like, everything happens for a reason. This is so beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyway.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you keep finding guests that agree with you.
I know.
I'm
Wonder-
choosing the
wonder-
next
these are
guest
the-
that's
because-
also dead inside.
Yeah, these are the
and
people that
doesn't-
that are also dead inside. Oh God. Okay.
So they didn't use it, but you just were like, okay, I'm not wasting this. I think
They
it's funny.
used it, but I'm pretty sure it did nothing
Okay.
for them. But I did think it was funny, so I posted it, and it did 19 million views overnight in
Wow.
24 hours, and gained me 100,000 followers
Oh,
in 24
that
hours.
makes me so happy. Oh my
And
Yeah.
God.
I mean, I thought my Wi-Fi was broken. I can't refresh fast enough. The comments are, I mean, it's just racking up, and I'm like, this was the biggest. I still get chills.
I
thinking
have
about it.
goosebumps.
So,
Is it not-
what were the
hate.
comments like? What were people like loving about that?
She's
what
like,
was it
doesn't
about
understand.
it?
She's
No,
My
no, no, like,
personality,
I get that it's-
the
so it
silliness
was
of
you,
the video,
right?
the chickens' names that I was
Oh,
curling
the
the
chicken's
chicken's
name.
hair. That
Yeah.
I mean, it was a silly 19-second video, but the moral of the story for me was, I hate that my back had to be against the wall for me to just be my damn self.
I see.
Yeah.
That's to be
Like
authentic.
when I
yeah.
was finally just myself and did what I thought was funny and was natural to me,
Yeah.
that's what worked. And after so many videos, that is the one that broke through. And I just had to be put in a shitty position for it to happen.
Yeah.
But it was the biggest blessing. And that has been my North Star ever since. Even though we script videos and we'll stage them, like that's very different for mass awareness versus what I'm actually doing for myself and who I actually am. But that's the magic that I hope everybody finds, and what we try to help people find is this marriage of what the market wants to hear from you. Like, what is the market going to consume? What is your expertise and how you're adding value? And then the magic and the marriage of those three things is what is really going to cut through. Because you can talk about what people want to hear and your expertise, but without the magic, you end up looking like everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, and if
Mhm.
you just are using your magic and your effortless ease and your magnetism and your expertise, but nobody cares about what you're talking about, that's not going to work either. So it's really trying to find the marriage of all three, and the center of that is what we're aiming for.
You were talking about like a Facebook experiment that you did, which was similar to this. You talked about like the trash content versus the
Oh.
one you put your heart and soul into, right?
Mm.
Yeah. And the ones I put my heart and soul into, nobody cared. Nobody watched.
Yeah.
And the dumber our content got, you may see this in reality TV, I'm not sure, but the more surface level, dumb, or shocking the content is, the better it does.
Yeah.
So all of this was built from the internet's dumbest videos of all time.
Wow.
The videos that you watch and waste 3 minutes of your life,
Yeah.
but you can't stop watching and you don't know why. You even hate this video as you're watching it, but you just can't look away. We got so good at compelling people to watch content because it was earning so much money. But for me as a marketer, it was just a giant experiment in how do we get people to watch anything? Because if I can figure this out on terrible content, if I can compel them to watch trash,
Yeah.
my gosh, how powerful is this formula that then I can go apply it to really meaningful content that deserves to be seen. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the mission that we're on now.
So was it the duck video that got you to be into marketing to help others, or like when
No,
was
I
it that
think-
you finally went from yourself to like, now I'm gonna
Help
share
others.
it? Yeah.
Getting tired of 3 years of making 18 videos a day that are
Oh, yeah.
so dumb,
Okay.
you know, and just an evolution of
Yeah.
being a human and
Yeah.
doing the
Yeah.
same thing exhaustingly for so long and feeling
Yeah.
like, okay, we can do 1 billion views a month with our eyes closed. What are we doing all this for?
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
and and not being beholden to the soup behind a desk, to the platforms. They can change their pay as they do on a dime and wreck your entire business. It's not scalable, even though we're at scale. It's out of our control when you're just on the platform. So if we can get and command this much attention, what can we funnel it to that will actually change people's lives? And how do we use this unique knowledge to do that?
And do you guys like advise your clients with certain AI tools? Like we just started using Opus, which is a
Yeah.
way to, you know, it basically goes in and takes our podcast episode, and then it picks actual shorts. And and then, you know, we look at like, I don't know, 50 of them and we figure out which one's the best. Some of them are ridiculous and you're like, what is this? And some of them are like, oh, that's pretty good. And it does all of it for you and it figures out the captions and all that. So talk to us a little bit about that and like your thoughts on the AI tools.
I think they're okay. I think it's better than nothing. I'm so hypercritical of clips that I can't look at it because I would do it so differently. Like I would just make different selections, but that's me and not most people. So I think the tools are very helpful because most people get stuck in inaction.
Yeah.
And so if Opus gets you to take action and gets you actually publishing rather than I got to learn how to edit, I got to learn all these things, I think
Okay.
it's fantastic.
Got it. That makes sense.
What I do too, like as I love scripting and I love figuring out here's exactly what I want to do. We script videos because we know how to get things to perform, and it usually doesn't perform by luck, like sometimes. But when you can contrive it, I would much rather set up a situation like you have and act out something that I know is going to hit. You say something wild, your response to it's even crazier. Now everyone's like, what's happening?
Yeah.
You know, and you're debating a current trend, or you're debating what the president just did, or something that people care about. But you guys are so unique in your perspective, and this dynamic is so interesting that you can do it on command. And so I would rather go into train an AI on your personalities and give it the gist of this show and say, I want to make a script that goes viral, that plays on this trending thing that's happening. And you can use proximity AI to do that and then write a script that follows a viral video format.
Oh, damn.
So when your company, how would you kind of pitch it in a nutshell in terms of like, are you a consultant or do you have like, you know, a bag of tricks? Or so people that want to call you up, what could they expect?
Consultants. We're strategic consultants, content consultants. And we're some of the best in the world at it. So we have some of the biggest brands and franchises call us to make videos for them. We can't help. We can only work with 8 major clients roughly a year.
Yeah.
And because we can only do it for so many people, and because that's so expensive, this is why we created our mastermind or some of our lower ticket do-it-yourself things, where my team carves out an hour or 2 a week to just coach people online. So we have business owners or business owners' social media teams in our program, and we just review their videos and say, hey, here's what we're doing for Raising Cane's this week. Here's what's really working right now. You guys go try this in your videos. Try them this week and bring them back next week and we'll review it. Ooh, I would take seconds 14 to 20. That's your hook. Move that up front. So we're just consulting them on their own content week over week using our frameworks and principles and helping them apply it.
And there's only one of you. So then how are you able to do it so it's wider and scaling it?
We have really 2 programs. We have a lower ticket one where my team helps you. And then I have a mastermind where I'm on once a week and in a WhatsApp chat with you, helping throughout the week.
Okay.
But you're not there like recording and filming, right? You tell them like what do you?
We tell it's virtual.
Okay. So you tell them what to do, how to do it
on a call, and then me and my mastermind where everybody like this brick and mortar dress shop.
Yeah.
I may be talking to them, but this car detailer company, that may be a huge light bulb for them. Or if they bring back, hey guys, we did this week and this crushed it for us. That may be really valuable to the burger joint. And so these business owners are also sharing knowledge. And that's my goal, is for that everybody's working on the same thing, but they learn oftentimes just as much from each other as they do from what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just there to facilitate and say, here's what's working in the mass market and here's what's working with our big clients. Here's what we're doing for Land Rover, but you don't have to pay Land Rover prices. Let me just work with you kind of throughout the week, a couple hours a week, just saying by proximity, just learning and guiding them for their own strategy so they don't get dependent on us.
So how do they feel once they like publish those and they get so many views and they're like, so.
Yeah, that gave me chills just you asking the question. It's, you know, when going viral for us, and viral means something different to everybody, but getting big views for us is no longer like a thrill. It's the expectation.
Yeah.
So I expect it of myself. So if I don't hit it, I'm really upset.
Right.
But if like I don't get big numbers, because that's the expectation. So when it happens, I'm like, cool, that was expected. But when somebody else gets their first million, 2 million, 50 million view video, that is my new thrill. Is just taking this knowledge and them trying it and watching their world transform and their confidence in their own authenticity and abilities is manifested through what we just told them on a call. Like that is the new thrill for me. It's the best feeling I've ever had in my life. And it's the accumulation of what we've done and the pain over the last 8 to 10 years to learn this thing, then to be a river with it. and pay it forward to other people and not just keep it for ourselves doing this. This happened. It's gone.
Yeah.
Now here's what we learned from being a martyr from marketing over the last 6 years of making this cringy content, that now we can put it into a container that is really useful for you. And you can go get hundreds of millions of free eyeballs. You know how much money that's going to save you in advertising?
Yeah.
So many thousands of dollars. If you can learn how to do it for free, that is the best gift that I feel like I could give anybody. Sorry.
No, I think I
get very excited about this.
I would imagine that would be
I want to feel that way.
Yeah, but that would feel so good to be able to help other people, you know what I mean? With something that
And
you
you are.
already
Look at both of you, the impact, like whether it's 5 people or 5 million people, everybody has influence. Everybody's an influencer.
Yep.
And you may never, and probably will never see the ripple effects of what you were nice to somebody in the hallway. And that made a difference in their day. And they went out and had impact. Like your kindness, your knowledge is only as valuable as to the extent that you pay it forward to people.
Yeah.
And we're all influencers, whether we see the accumulation of that influence or not.
I am an influencer.
Don't be a gatekeeper. Yeah. So what, going now into the Buna Murray situation and the reality show. So it was a digital series.
Well,
right?
can you guys start over? What is
okay.
this?
Okay. So yeah.
It wasn't gonna be.
Yeah.
It ended up.
So talk to us about the opportunity that you had a handful of years ago, working with a pretty big production company called Buna Murray. And I would love to just understand it, and just because it's my world, and I'm kind of like, what happened? Because in your post you talk about it, and you're like, you lost $1.5 million doing it, and so talk to us about that.
Man, okay. So we had this idea for a show. One, because I wanted to marry the love of my life. I really didn't want to plan a wedding. I don't care about any of it. Like the only detail that I cared about was that he was there. Yeah. As long as he was there.
Even that I would have been iffy about.
Whatever.
It could have happened anywhere in a barnyard. I didn't care. So I was like, how fun would it be to just like let my fans and let the internet vote on, because they care. People are so crazy about wedding stuff that they'd be like, your dress has to be like this. And they have so many opinions, as I've learned through my comment section. So cool, let them do it. Like, what color should Adley's dress, or what type of dress should she have? Where should it happen? How, like literally every detail down to my bridesmaids.
Oh
my
God.
Everything. I'm like, I don't care. Who's the guest list? I don't care. And so I just want to marry this amazing man. That's all I care about. So we had this idea for the show at a company called The Nice Kids. Some very dear friends of ours, a production company, helped us put it together. And then we got it in front of Buna Murray. And so I had an investor at the time, and she's just coming into a lot of money, I thought, she said. And she was gonna be the investor for it. And she really believed in me, and we have this amazing opportunity with them, obviously. So she's like, I'll underwrite it. So it comes time to pay, and it's $1.5 million. And she's like, I'm at the bank right now. I'm wiring it. Would send pictures of herself in front of the bank.
Wow.
And it never came. I mean, this is 6-7 times. I'm like, we're going to lose the deal.
Yeah.
And she's just lying through her teeth. Then we find out, we see a mugshot, and that she's wanted for fraud and bounced checks and all this. And she's denying it still to this day, which is crazy. But I'm just putting it all together. I'm like, if we want this deal to happen, and they were so for us. They were championing us. They had just ended the 15 seasons of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It was COVID. And they were like, this is what people want, this heartfelt thing. Yeah. And just to be able to choose, like imagine on these house flipping shows, if you could vote on carpet or wood flooring, I want this paint color, I'm designing the curtains. Well, you have a built-in audience now that voted and is waiting to see how the house turns out. Right. They feel like they were part of it. So you have built-in audience before you even air the show, before you even really start filming. So that was the goal of it. And we had the whole thing written out for a franchise to take it not just from weddings, but to homes, to all these different verticals. So we were really feeling like partners in what we were going to build. So for me, I was like, we had just come into money from all of this starting to work during COVID. And my fiance, lovely man, he was like, you built it. If you want to spend $1.5 million, pretty much all our money, on this show to save the deal with Buna, let's do it. And so I covered the investor, we got her out of the project, and I wrote the check. And we went and we filmed the whole thing. It was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life.
Wow.
And then we're 4 months afterwards into post-production, and Unum they let go of everybody. Like all of our champions got let go.
Oh,
Everybody
God.
on down to the interns on the project. So nobody that's left at Unum knows this franchise. They don't know the show. It just lands on a desk somewhere, and now hard drives in my closet. And we released it as a digital series.
Oh,
And
wow.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, because
yeah.
I was
And so,
curious. I was
Listen,
wondering if it started as it was going to be a digital series, because the part that I was a little bit confused about was, so typically, you partner with a production company, right? And if you're going to put together sizzle or presentation or whatever, that's one deal. But then you go and you pitch it to the networks, and then if a network buys it, then you get the money, and then you guys, it gets made. So what was the process that was
why it wasn't like that?
Yeah, why wasn't it like just what was your guys' goal from the beginning, and kind of talk us through that?
The reason it was a digital series to start, and we had all this distribution.
Okay.
So it was going to pilot as that before we went to shop it. So if we could say we let the internet plan her wedding, and we did 4 to 5 minute episodes. We had 22-minute long episodes, but don't show them all that. Just show them 4 to 5 minutes that could live on Facebook and Snapchat and Instagram. So you're getting pieces of it, but there's still more to be desired.
And show the success of it on the internet is what that's kind of like the thought. Okay,
It's a case study to take it to go shop. And so they didn't even want us to like blow it up. They said, just organically see what you can do. So 40,000 people voted. And then it made sense to just air it on our platforms that we had to gauge interest. And we knew we could get at least 1 million dedicated views, which they said would be very impressive to them, but not enough to where the networks were like, well, people have seen it already. Yeah. And so there was something to still sell, they believed. So we released it as a digital series, had the case study, it went perfectly. Like everything went perfect. And then the consolidation, everything that happened just right after COVID to that company.
So were you able
all of our champions were gone.
It was smart that
before it went to go get shopped, the case study and the real show.
Got it. Okay. But it was smart that you ended up putting it on digital, right? That you actually showcased it. I mean, how many episodes?
We thought so.
How many episodes did you guys put out?
8. So just a really limited run. It was Adley trying on the wedding dresses, blindfolded, is a fun little hero story. Our bachelorette party was a little hero story. So it was just 8 really easy to digest digital episodes to build the case study. And then that was all going to go get shot for, hey, we have the whole real thing that's even deeper and more heartfelt for a longer series that could live on TV.
And then did you put those, did you publish them on YouTube?
Yeah, they're still on YouTube, but they're unlisted now.
They're unlisted.
It was this whole internet takeover channel. But it was they were on YouTube, but then they were also on Facebook where we had the most amount of distribution.
Hold on. So can we watch this now or no? Because I'm so curious of what the internet has chosen for you.
I'll send it to you guys. Because it takes about 45 minutes and you've watched the whole thing.
Okay, so did you send out like, oh, should my dress be A, B, or C, and then they would vote, or like
there was a private Instagram channel called the Internet Takeover that we and Blake and I were locked from, and people were like, well, didn't you just sneak in there and actually see what people are voting? No, we literally didn't want to know. It was the most honest video we'd ever made. Most unstaged real thing.
What did your family
genuinely
think about
showed up
this? Because I'm
so
like,
surprised.
we couldn't pull that shit off.
Oh yeah, we're both Persian, and Persian weddings
like
are
we
like
invited
insane,
everybody from Iran. You don't have a choice, including the groom.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's crazy.
I believe it, but I didn't want to know. So they voted. There were about 40,000 people who got invested in voting.
Okay.
Did you make any money back from Facebook or for putting
Not
it out?
meaningful money.
Not meaningful.
Not at all.
Money.
Probably under 10 grand.
Got it. Wow.
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I could.
We did get sponsors. We had sponsors that helped. So that's not totally true. We probably made because of sponsors, like Frito-Lay was a sponsor. We had other sponsors integrated into the show. That probably made 350,000 back total.
Okay. Got
towards
it.
the 1.5.
What happened to that lady?
What late?
She's still in jail?
I don't know.
No,
Or,
okay.
I don't know. I think she did sometime.
This is the
but not
second
lo-
shady
not-
person you chose to sign up with, just so
Oh God.
I know.
you're cut off.
She's like,
It
I learned
is.
my lesson.
And like you get, I just believe the best in everybody.
Yeah.
And why
Yeah.
would I not
You guys
believe her?
shouldn't.
She'd been a friend too for a long time.
Oh, you knew her from before?
She told me she just closed on this great real estate deal. She was an NFL agent. She was an
Oh, so
agent
she
to
was
athletes.
legit at some point. It wasn't some
at
random
some
person
point,
who
but I
came.
realized she had been faking it for
Yeah.
longer than any of us knew.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Blake, your husband. How did you guys meet?
We met on Bumble.
Oh my God, so many people meet.
He's
on-
not the chicken video boyfriend.
No.
No,
No,
he's
this
not.
is later.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, he's a
Okay.
different one. He's a different
Okay.
one. She's got like a real smile. She
Yeah.
she actually loves this one.
Chicken boyfriend. We were together for 9 years, like from 18 to 26, 20, 28.
Oh my
something
God,
like
that's
that.
a long
And,
time.
Yeah. And then we were separated 4 months. Just as we grew up, we never knew anything besides each other. So just stayed together way too long. And then, but yeah, met Blake 4 months after being single for the first time as an adult. And then I felt like God gave him to me early. He was like, you need to meet him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him to you early before you just go crazy.
And so you guys have been married now for 3 years? 4 years?
Yeah. Yeah. 3 years.
Wow.
It's wonderful.
And-
He's my partner in crime, makes videos with us, helps as my grounding agent, where I'm the big dreamer, risk taker.
Yeah.
He makes sure that we don't lose everything. And he's
It's a good
he's
partnership
very
though.
grounded and awesome. And it's the best.
Yeah, because I read that that he like quit his job. He was an engineer, right? And he decided to go all in on you and your company. And so, you know,
I was still coming out of bankruptcy when we met. So he was like buying our dinners and everything like that. And I had nothing. I was touring in the shows. We were doing the stadium shows at the time, and that was awesome. But yeah, he was developing hospitals. And so he was an engineer for a big construction company and on the owner's side. And then when the world shut down and we went from averaging 20 million views a week to over 200 million views a week, then
Yeah.
it starts making real money.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my gosh. And he's like, if I could just help you make one more video, that's my salary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
yeah,
I know.
smart
Like these
man.
videos
Yeah.
were hitting like 6 figures on some videos. And so he doesn't like making videos, by the way. He has anxiety, but he understood the formula.
yeah,
He
and he believes
just
in
looked at it like an engineer. He's like, oh, if I just do this and this and this, I don't have to speak. I
Yeah.
can. And so he just does like DIY, like redneck
yeah.
style construction videos, but they're very entertaining.
Well,
You just
right.
don't know what he's building the whole time until the end.
People love
And so
that.
he just understood our formula perfectly. And so July 2020, he left his corporate job to make prank videos while everyone else is getting laid off. He just
Yeah.
quit his dream
Yeah.
job to
Wow.
come help me make prank videos. And the rest is history.
Wow.
So he has his own channel too.
He does.
What does he call? What's his? How can I find him?
Blake Kinsman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's very fun. That's
I-
great.
I had a client, and she does really well on TikTok and Instagram. And her husband recently also quit his job, very great job, and he's now partnering up with her because she's just so busy with brand deals and everything like that. And so I think it makes sense. And it's funny, my husband that I was telling you is such a huge fan of you. He is brilliant in digital advertising marketing. He also has his own company called Functy, which are like functional mushrooms. But he helps me a lot, like with all the tech stuff. And you look around, like when I said to him, I want to try this podcast thing that's been in the back of my mind forever. And the next day, literally, he had everything delivered from Amazon. He's like, let's do this. And I'm just like, and she knows, like he's, helping us and pushing us. And so I think it's really, really important to have that person, But I will tell you, and I want to hear from your side, it's not always so, wonderful and glamorous and, lovey-lovey. Like it could be, very frustrating working with somebody that, that you love and you're married to. So what are some of like the hardships of that, if you'd have to say?
The hardships of it, I would say genuinely 90% of it is good. And that's because we have very different lanes of expertise and we trust each other in those.
Yeah.
And creative, he knows, he was like, what do we do here? And and many other things, engineering mind, like finances, like I'm like, what can we do here?
Right. Yeah.
So it works for the most part. But I mean, we do everything together. From the moment you wake up, we're really bad at separating business and personal because it's all one.
Yeah.
And so I would say most of the fault falls on me for not carving out time. I eat, sleep, breathe this. From the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, I'm still working because it is so intrinsic to who I am that it's very hard to turn off because my hobby became, and my passion is now the career, and a lot of it is dependent on me. So there's not a lot of turn off because I genuinely like it. So I would say that is probably the cause of most of our arguments is there's not a lot of separation between church and state. And that's something I need to, for his sake and for ours, need to get a lot better at.
Do you, like, if you're just going out to get a coffee or something, are you just constantly thinking of if something can be content? Like you're going out with your friends.
You know what?
Like,
that's what it used to be for 4 years when we were just making videos all day, every day. That's all it was. Now it's more of actually, I kind of talked myself into a desk job of running the 3 divisions of this company. I'm dying to make more content. That's what I love doing. That's what got us here. Yeah. But now I think where I need to get better at drawing those lines is we go out for coffee, or rather it's really drink coffee, but we'll go out to dinner or something. Because also neither of us cook.
They don't drink coffee.
We'll go out to dinner and like, what do we talk about?
Yeah. Wait, how do you have so much energy and you don't drink coffee?
Is it cocaine?
What? Oh my god!
One of our brand deals. This is first one.
Look at that.
Is it an energy drink? I've never seen.
Yeah,
that.
it is. It's an energy drink.
I love that. Look at that. That's what you. So that's.
But this is my first one today, and I'm not even halfway through it. And I think I'm excited to talk to people because I'm alone a lot of the day.
Yeah.
And so I think I get really energized talking.
Oh, I know. I'm a stay-at-home mom. When I see my neighbors, I'm like, can somebody talk to me? Be my friend.
All right. Well, we're gonna go into rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Adley, are you ready?
Yes.
The best prank you've ever played on someone?
Oh, there's so many different kinds of best pranks. Oh, what's the most entertaining one, I guess? I think the best ones genuinely have been played on me.
Oh, yeah, because your reaction, like you're like seriously surprised.
My husband rewired our car to where every time I stepped on the brakes, the horn went off. So I was just pulling up to a red light.
That's a good one.
And everybody's yelling at me, flipping me off. I'm like,
oh my God.
That's a really good prank.
It was wild.
That's the engineer in him that knows how to do that. That's crazy.
But every time I stepped on the brakes, it honked the horn. So I'm just, you step on the brakes a lot more than you think you do.
That is, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
That was really well done. Really good.
And we can watch that, right? We can find that somewhere.
We can make fun of you?
Exactly. Do you believe in forgiving and forgetting, or do you spend your nights planning vengeance?
Forgiving and forgetting.
Yeah, me too. What? This was your question. Do you like?
No, I'm just wondering.
Yeah, okay. It's just like, geez.
A good question.
Accusing.
Yeah. What the is wrong with you? Would you rather spend hours having someone show you pictures of their vacation or eat a bowl of hair?
Hair.
Thank you.
Hair.
Oh my God.
Is it similar to?
It's torture.
Like, I have 2 kids. She's got 1, and I try so hard not to show people pictures of our kids because I'm like, you don't care. I know you are very sweet but you really don't. Is it similar? Like,
look, I think it depends, right? It's like if you're showing me like a specific picture, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm looking at it. If you tell me to sit here and watch a 25-minute video of like slideshow of your kid, I would say, no, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
goes back to like the hook of does anybody watch anything? Why do they watch my videos? Why do they listen to a podcast? Like, what's the hook? Subliminally, even though we're not narcissists or egotistical people, but like, what value does this offer to me for my time? Like, everyone's busy.
Yeah.
Why do I care?
Like, even if you're not busy, why do I care? You know, like, it's just.
Like, I'm so happy for you, but show me one.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this for you. I don't want a slideshow.
Exactly. I'm happy for
you.
The hair. You know? Yeah.
That is so funny.
We'll share the bowl. That's fine.
I will film. That's a better video.
Yeah.
Us eating hair.
By the way, do you have kids?
I don't.
Do you want kids?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do I want kids? You tell me.
I mean, I'll tell you, going from 1 to 2 is what everybody says. Like 1 is 1 and 2 is a bajillion. But I mean, I love the second so much, but it's hard. He's 1 right now. Yeah, no, it's
I love the
really,
second kid so much.
You know, I do. I really do.
I still love him.
I still love him, but it's just exhausting. And like, you know, I have guilt about everything all the time, and I'm like, am I good? You know, and before I had kids, I'll say my work was my everything. My career was everything. Everything. I mean, that's what was the most important thing to me, and I still think it's very, very important. But it's just hard to like tell yourself like there's more to life. You know?
Yes, there is something obviously way more important now, as it should be.
Yeah.
So it does put things in perspective.
But look,
And I
also
think
it's
that's
not
part
for
of the fear of
everybody.
it for me is because I'm you know, like that person whose work is so intrinsic. And I probably would welcome the wake up call that it's not the most important thing in the world, and who really cares at the end of the day what I'm offering to the world. Valuable, maybe. But and I hope so, but I don't know. I've worked so hard to get to where we are now that when you have kids, it needs to be all about them, as it should, as the most important job in the world. And I'm selfish in the fact that I'm just not ready for it to be all about somebody else. Yeah, I'm enjoying this too much.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah, and if you do have kids, just get a lot of nannies. Like it's like no, because
Well,
I
then
feel
you
like
have
people
guilt for
have
that
guilt
too,
around
right?
that. You know, like it's like no, just get the help that you need so you could run your life and your career, and that's really good for your kids to see you doing that. You know, everything doesn't
But it
have to be
is-
about them. That's
yeah,
not healthy either.
The
you
other
know?
day,
Ignore
someone
them.
complimented our second on having great manners, and I said our nanny did a really great job of teaching. You know, and I'm like, I mean, obviously, you know, I should, you know, it's I know me and my husband and our families and every, you know, have help, but I do. You have guilt.
Yeah.
I mean, you.
Yeah.
you
Is somebody
know?
else raising your kid?
Yeah,
Are they going to
yeah.
resent you for not coming first?
But look,
what's the
I've never had a nanny, and I still feel guilty. What I'm saying is, when you become a parent, it's lose-lose situation.
true.
You're always gonna feel like shit if you do this, if you do that, if she's this way, if you're that way, if your kid. It's what I'm saying is like, don't think about all that. If you want to, do it. If you don't want to, you know, don't.
I think I'm worried about regretting it someday when I realize you get older and you're like, you don't care as
Yeah.
much about the work,
Right.
Yeah.
maybe, or you're just like, you start to not give as much. Then I'm like, do I wish I would have built a family?
First of all, I think you have the kind of personality that I don't think your work would suffer if you had 10 kids. You seem
you're
so on
right.
top of your
I
shit.
do think you would be one of those
honestly.
people that people are like, how does she do it?
Yes.
How does she do it? I agree. I think you would do it really
Because
well.
we have moms at our school that are like, and you, for example, obviously one of the main ones I know that are like straight up hustlers. And let me tell you, having kids has not slowed them down. Actually, because their time is so sensitive now, they waste less time on things that are necessary, right? So they do their work, they do what they need to do, and they know that because they have a family now, they can't waste time on like bullshit, right? So
Totally.
yeah, so I mean, I personally, just having met you for an hour, don't think you would have issues having kids.
She's like, go have sex
really appreciate
right
it.
now.
Yes.
Go.
Okay, you guys,
And
we
keep
gotta
the
end
Zoom
this.
on.
Okay. Do you stop your car if you see a squirrel running across the road?
I don't have a car. I don't, but I would.
You don't have a car.
No,
You don't need
I
one.
am
that
such a
normal?
liability behind the wheel.
There you go.
So
After
I had
the
a car. We had to
breaking
deal with the Land
horn
Rover,
prank.
Yeah.
and then got rid of it.
Okay.
And then I just never got another car.
There you go. First thing you do when you wake up.
Check my text messages
It's like
Same.
and feed the
same.
puppy.
Yeah. Oh, you got a puppy. There you go.
Yeah.
What's a pet peeve?
Yeah, people. Lately, people.
And you work with a lot of
Um,
people, so
Just all of them. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I'm such a people person, but I think when people are really just selfish, like true selfishness is one of the ugliest things I think that I've seen, especially recently.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. You got to just not be careful with who you put in your little bubble, right? What's a word you always misspell?
It's a good question. It's probably a word I'm not even aware that I'm misspelling.
Can you spell entrepreneur? I still can't spell that.
Oh, that's one for you.
That one will throw me off.
Yeah.
Airbnb or hotel?
It depends on how big the party is.
All right.
If it's more than just my husband and I think Airbnb's fun.
Okay.
But if it's just us, hotel.
I feel like the hotel has the cleaning thing, so that's always good. And then finally, tell us something we don't know.
Of course. We bought a cop car one time, and then we had this cop car, and the guy who was driving it was our production assistant, and he was anti-cops. And so he drove around in our cop car doing not good things. As a cop. And we did not realize it. And then it was not good. So then we sold the cop car.
Oh my God.
Okay, hold on. That's like the most craziest.
I have a lot of questions.
The craziest part. Oh, he also kept a colony of bugs in the car and had them named. And there was a bug colony kept in the cop car. And we ended up having to let this guy go for parkouring too much because I said, bleep his name. I said, you cannot parkour today. This is a very serious day. We're filming on the boat and I cannot be babysitting you. Do not parkour. He parkoured off the cliff, almost broke his neck. And then he parkoured off the boat and he just went clunk, 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 clunk down the side of the boat. And I'm so mad. I'm like, told you not to parkour. He came out, he had chipped his front 2 teeth.
Oh my God.
And then asked us to pay for it. And we did, but we also fired up the same day. Like,
so it sounds like you already have children. That's literally being a parent.
Children.
That's
it.
Stop parkouring.
Every day. Yeah. That's why we don't have kids yet.
There you go. That's having a kid in a nutshell.
Yeah. And then Adley, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Adley. Our website is viralish.com. Yeah. Probably 2 main spots.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Adley.
You're amazing.
Well, the pleasure is mine, you guys. So good to meet you guys.
Amazing. Great meeting you too.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Tell Us Something We Don't Know. You can find us on Instagram or email us at info@tellussomethingwedon'tknow.com.